Tri-State Triumphs, sponsored by Good Samaritan Home of Quincy.
2 weeks before the indoor national championship, I had injured my left hand, my throwing hand. The 2 weeks going into the indoor national championship, I had not thrown a shot put. We were doing dry throws because I was just trying to keep the hand healthy. We got to the national meet. We had a game plan with what we were going to do to try and keep it healthy. And basically after the first throw, that all went out the window. I had this real fancy tape job on my hand to help save it, and that wasn't working. So I ripped it all off. And I threw 58 feet to get third place at the national championships after not throwing a shot for 2 weeks. And that was a moment that I kind of knew, like, hey, we can really do something special here. So then to the 2018 outdoor national championships where I won, I went in being the underdog. A good friend of mine, David Cornack, he was the top guy. He had thrown 60 feet that season. And I basically went in with the idea that I had nothing to lose. So in the fifth round on the slow clap, I threw a 4-foot PR to win it.
You're definitely going to be a Hall of Famer for that athletic institution when it rolls around. You had only the second national championship in the history of the program. I mean, these are all incredibly special, indelible things you're going to get to tell your grandchildren that not a lot of us get to share with ours.
I think about throwing all the time. You know, I wish I could have continued to compete. But I think it's really unique. You know, I think it's something that not a lot of people can share. You know, I definitely don't want my athletic career to be the pinnacle of my life, but it is something that I'm really going to never forget. I think about it all the time. It's just something I'm really glad that, you know, after you put in all the work, all the hours, you know, you put in all the time, and you get an outcome like that. That's unique. That's not something that happens often in life, you know? And so I'll have that experience. I can share that with my kids and grandkids and tell them, like, hey, when you bust your butt, you know, the outcome's pretty freaking cool, you know?
What did you take away from Carthage and from the Illini West experience that has helped make you, you know, be able to swim upstream and win in a career field that's not easy, as I said, to break into?
Yeah. You know, I love Carthage. You know, I'm so glad that I live in Minneapolis right now. It's a big city. I'm so glad that my adult life started in a small town like Carthage, Illinois, in the tri-state area, you know? You learn so much about community and what people can do when they come together. I mean, Carthage is you know, a fantastic part of the Midwest. You know, the farming area, and the people are hardworking. And you know, small town football, for example, right? Everyone comes together to watch football games. You know, in 2010 when they won the state championship, it seemed like Carthage was a ghost town because they all went to watch. You know, you have people behind you. And I'm just so glad that I grew up in a community where everyone's so supportive, you know. That's something you don't really get when you start going to the bigger cities, I feel like.
Is there anybody that you'd like to shout out kind of in your success?
You know, Don Winters was my specific throws coach. I absolutely adore the guy, love him to death. And he was definitely a big part of where I am today. But specifically, I like John Artman, my head coach in high school. And we talk about this all, him and I we're still in contact, but we talk about this all the time. He was the biggest jerk to me when I was in high school. I hated him. I did not want to go to practice because I felt like his expectations were just too high. And then, you know, every week I was getting so frustrated because he was like, you can do better. You can do better. I know you can do better. You're not trying hard enough. I'm like, what are you talking about? I am. And then we get to the state championship meet. You know, I win the state title. He comes up to me, grabs me, and says, you became a man today. And it just kind of all clicked. Like he saw something that I didn't see in myself. I think he's done that with numerous athletes. Sir Whitaker, you know, Jacob Scholl, his son Connor, who's, you know, at Iowa or Illinois now. He's just someone who really raises the bar for everyone, I think, and that's really special to find in a coach, especially when you're a young man still developing.